Based on the testimony of those who spent Hitler's final days at his side, military historians have managed to reconstruct the dictator's last moments. Adolf Hitler, founder of National Socialism, was 56 years old on April 20th. It was 10:30 in the morning. In honor of Hitler's birthday, the top figures of the regime gathered for the last time at the Reich Chancellery: Goebbels, Himmler, Bormann, Speer, Ribbentrop, and several Wehrmacht generals. Göring arrived immediately after sending a convoy of 24 trucks loaded with his personal belongings south from Berlin. After a brief greeting, Hitler made the rounds. He accepted congratulations from each person, offering a trembling hand to shake and responding with a few words. The gathering felt more like a farewell than a celebration. The night before, Hitler had been advised to leave the capital and personally lead the defense of southern Germany. But Propaganda Minister Goebbels suggested that if he was fated to die, it should be amid the ruins of the capital. The Führer made his final decision. He would stay. April 20th, 7:45 p.m., Hitler returned to the bunker. He ordered his staff dispersed. As he said goodbye to his personal physician, who'd been instructed to go south, Hitler remarked, "No drug can help me anymore." A modest banquet was held in the Führer's private quarters. Present were Eva Braun, Bormann, and a few close confidants. They drank wine and danced. A phonograph played the only record found in the bunker, a tango about blood-red roses. April 21st, 8 a.m. Hitler woke up 2 hours later than usual. The thunder of artillery had roused him. Soviet guns were firing on the Reichstag and the Brandenburg Gate. What's going on? Where is this shelling coming from? Are the Russians really that close? He shouted in fury. Snatching up the telephone, he dialed the number and spat. The entire Luftwaffe leadership must be hanged. His adjutants were stunned. He slammed down the receiver and muttered a single word in a hollow voice: betrayal. Meanwhile, Goebbels asked Hitler through his secretary for permission to move his wife and 6 children into the bunker. Hitler came out to Goebbels and snapped, "Do whatever you want. I'm not giving orders anymore." He then summoned his adjutant, Schaub, took a file containing his personal archives from the safe, and told him to burn the papers. Field Marshal Keitel, who had arrived to report to Hitler, was not granted an audience. "I will never leave Berlin. I will die on the steps of the Reich Chancellery," Hitler declared, slamming the door. April 23rd, 3:20 p.m. Armaments Minister Albert Speer arrived at the bunker to bid Hitler a personal farewell. He noticed something unusual. The reception area was filled with cigarette smoke, and half-empty liquor bottles stood on a table. When Hitler moved from room to room, none of the staff bothered to stand at attention. They didn't even stop chatting among themselves. Tears ran from Hitler's eyes as he listened to Speer. "Life does not forgive weakness," Hitler said at one point, the comment seeming out of place. April 26th, 6 a.m. As usual, his orderly came to wake him at that hour. But Hitler was already awake, lying on a couch in a state of total apathy. For breakfast, he ordered hot cocoa and cake. In the final days, his craving for pastries had become excessive. It seemed Hitler had finally realized he had lost. He prayed for death, viewing it as an escape from an unbearable reality. After breakfast, he stepped out into the bunker corridor. He moved with great difficulty, dragging one foot behind him. His eyes were bloodshot, and saliva dripped from his mouth. The Führer, long known for his neat appearance, now looked disheveled. His tunic was stained, and crumbs clung to his mustache. He spoke with his adjutants about dogs and their training, about food, and about the foolishness of the world at large. After that, the Reich leader shuffled into the guard station where the dogs were kept. He spent a long time playing with his German shepherd, Blondie, and her 5 puppies. April 26, 2:40 p.m., word arrived that Reichsfuhrer SS Himmler had tried to initiate surrender talks with the Western allies of the anti-Hitler coalition. Hitler was enraged. He cursed Himmler hysterically. Caught in the crossfire was Fegelein, Himmler's subordinate and Eva Braun's brother-in-law. He had unwisely phoned his relative in the bunker, telling her, "Eva, you must leave the Führer. This is a matter of life and death." Hitler ordered Fegelein found and shot on the spot, without trial. Poor Adolf, Braun lamented. They've all abandoned you, all betrayed you. April 28, 11:40 p.m. Hitler ordered that an official authorized to register marriages be brought to the bunker, so his marriage to Eva Braun could be formally recorded. Just before midnight, they brought the official in by tank. Goebbels and Bormann served as witnesses. The form included a line stating both parties were of Aryan descent and suffered from no hereditary diseases. Eva started to sign with her maiden name, but then corrected herself, writing Eva Hitler, née Braun. April 29, 2:15 p.m. During lunch, Hitler received SS General Monk, who was responsible for defending the government quarter. "How much longer can you hold out?" he asked. "At most a day, my Führer, no more," the general replied. Hitler then summoned his dog handler and ordered him to poison Blondie with the cyanide capsules stored in his safe. After Himmler's betrayal, he no longer trusted anything made in the SS laboratory. The poison, however, proved effective. Blondie died as if struck by lightning. The handler then shot the 5 puppies outside. For a final time, Hitler briefly left the bunker to say goodbye to his beloved dog. Upon his return, he was informed in detail of Mussolini's death. For a moment, the Führer perked up. He requested information about the location of any still capable military units that might save Berlin. But the hours went by with no new data. The administrative apparatus had completely broken down. April 30th, 7 a.m. For 2 hours, Soviet artillery had been pounding the government quarter. General Monk reported that resistance could hold for only a few more hours. Eva Hitler came in and invited the Führer to step outside the bunker for one last look at the sun. But the shelling was so severe that Hitler refused to set foot outdoors. On his way back, he met his adjutant Gunsch and ordered him to bring as many gasoline canisters into the bunker as possible. They would be used to burn his corpse. April 30th, 2 p.m. Hitler had lunch with his secretaries and his personal dietitian. His personal pilot, Bauer, arrived to say that an airplane, loaded with enough fuel for 11,000 kilometers, was ready to fly Hitler to an Arab country, to South America, or to Japan. Hitler declined. He gifted Bauer a portrait of Frederick the Great. As a farewell, he remarked, "My epitaph should read, 'The victim of his generals.'" April 30th, 3:20 p.m. Hitler and Eva withdrew to the Führer's apartments. Around 3:30, a secretary heard a single gunshot. Hitler's orderly went in. He soon returned and reported to Bormann, "Herr Reichsleiter, it's done." Hitler's lifeless body sat on a sofa, eyes open. A coin-sized hole gaped at his right temple. A Walther pistol lay at his side. The Führer had bitten down on a cyanide capsule, then pulled the trigger. Beside him was Eva's corpse. She sat there, legs drawn up under a light blue dress, lipstick still fresh. She too had taken poison. Following Hitler's instructions, His valet Heinz Ling and accomplices tried to cremate the body. It was so badly damaged by fire that no one could definitively say who it was. This gave rise to theories that it might have been Hitler's double, who died in Berlin in 1945. After World War II, the FBI actively investigated rumors that Hitler had escaped to Argentina. The first report was dated September 21, 1945, claiming Hitler supposedly reached South America by submarine, and that 6 high-ranking Argentine officials gave him refuge. Some believed he was hiding in the southern Andes. The press also ran stories suggesting the Nazi leader fled to South America, married a black woman, lived in poverty, and reached old age. Claims made by some Brazilian historians. Another version said Hitler and Eva Braun had escaped to Argentina and then hid out in the Alps. In March 2017, to end any lingering myths about Hitler's miraculous escape from besieged Berlin, Russia's FSB allowed a team of French researchers, led by Professor Philippe Charlier, to carry out a dental examination of Hitler's surviving jawbone. According to the scientists, there was no doubt it belonged to Adolf Hitler. Why were they so sure? They compared it to surviving X-rays of Hitler's teeth, as well as records of his dental prosthetics and implants, and found it all matched perfectly. That's all for now. If you found this video interesting, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe.